All right. Where the fuck is my chair?
Who the fuck left my chair outside? Might have been me.
Okay. So, 1998, I'm on tour with Van Morrison and Bob Dylan. And my job on the tour is that I'm the monitor mixer for Van Morrison. So I've got nothing to do with what's ever happening on stage with Bob Dylan. They have their own guys, they have their own people. I'm just focused on that. So we go to Madison Square Garden and we're going to be there for a week. And it's a big deal to do the Garden for a week. And they say the thing about Van Morrison and Bob Dylan together, it's a 1 + 1 = 3. Bob Dylan sells so many tickets, Van Morrison sells so many tickets, but you put them together and you really got a powerhouse show. And for the fans of that genre and fans of that music, these shows at the Garden were a big deal. So one of the caveats about the gig is that we have a brand new state-of-the-art sound system called the VDOS, and it was light years ahead of anything that came before it. And for the very first time, people could actually understand what it was that Bob was saying from the stage. So let that be said. If you can clearly hear what Bob Dylan's saying, you really got something there. So that was the good news. The bad news was the technician that the sound company sent out was this guy named Harry. And Harry didn't know how to hang the system. He didn't know how to properly operate the system. He didn't understand the what they call the acoustical physics of what it was supposed to be doing. So there was a lot of gaps there. I mean, high-tech gear, low-tech people, it's usually a combination for something that's not going to go right. So that's how it went, and it didn't go right. A system that should have been in the air in 2 hours, it was stuck on the ground until after lunch. And then about after lunch, he got it almost at show position, only to realize that all the wheel boards were still on the speakers, covering, all the speakers, which is going to certainly hinder the hi-fi. It was a big disaster, and the only other sound system in the country at that time of that make and that same brand just happened to be at Radio City Music Hall, and they had to bring the Yanni people down from that show to fix this mess. I mean, this show was such a big deal that the manufacturer had flown in a group of Japanese businessmen to invest in this product. And just like they could see the ease of it going up at Madison Square Garden, and you can imagine how horrified everyone was that something that should have taken an hour and a half tops ended up taking 8 hours. But, for me, everything on stage with Van Morrison, hey, it was great, man. I had no problems. Van Morrison's interesting character because he doesn't have a set list. He's got a giant cardboard-looking sheet. Looks like he's reading a map in between songs. It's got every song he's ever done on it, and he just picks one out and they go. And, when you're a sound guy, trying to keep ahead of things, it's a bit of a challenge, but it's how we did it, and we got through it, and it was great. Great for me. Front of house was a big disaster. One of the disasters was, back in 1998, a laptop was a big, expensive item, and the Bob Dylan sound mixer, this guy named Coach, had this big, brand new, fancy laptop, and Harry was climbing into the front of house sound bunker where we had the mixing consoles, and he went to brace himself, hit Coach's laptop, and flipped out of the air, landed on the ground, broke into a bunch of pieces. He was horrified. Almost simultaneously, the sound guy from Van Morrison that was going to mix the show for the audience perspectives, he touches the mixing console for the first time, and the whole sound system goes, makes a horrible noise, and Harry said, yeah, don't lean on that. So there was a lot of drama out there, and I wasn't involved in any of it. I just stayed on stage, mixed what the band was hearing, and I had no problems. But it was a lot of stress because, that's how it was. And Harry kept saying to me, don't help me, don't help me. Well, you want to go out of your way and ask me not to help you. I'm going to go out of my way and not help you. And just stand there and watch it with my arms folded, watching you do it wrong. So that's how that was. So everyone lived, and we took the show to Boston. And in Boston, the sound company set up a couple heroes to to get that audio system in the air and point it in the right direction so everyone out in the Fleet Center could hear it properly. And I'm on stage doing my thing. So we're there, and it was the only night of the tour that Bob Dylan came out and did a song with Van Morrison. And it was just the two of them on two stools doing a song acoustically. And they're doing a Beatles song written by George Harrison, Knocking on Heaven's Door, right? And these two legends out there doing a legend song, man. I mean, my hair still rises. It was so epic, right? So I'm standing at the monitor console, and I'm glued watching the stage because that's my gig, waiting for those guys to wave and need this or that turned up or down. That's my gig. And I'm standing there, and this old British guy taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, you mind if I stand here with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem, man." I turned around. It's George Harrison. I literally dropped my headphones. I mean, there is this legend standing next to me while these two legends are out there doing his song, man. I mean, it was just, for me, it was the most epic rock and roll experience that I ever had. And it still raises my hair to this day. And it was so funny. Like, the song was almost over, and I'm just trying not to just die of a smile. Concentrate on my gig, And he had these two little kids with him, and one of the kids said, "Grandpa, this is boring. Let's go." And he put his hand on me. He goes, "Hey, thanks a lot, man." I said, "No problem." And he walked off into the darkness, and that was so cool. And for me, it just brought all this nonsense of what happened at the Garden and all that hairy business. It just, like, who cares when you can live and have such a moment as cool as that?